The old king was dying. Whispers, thick as the London fog, slithered through the labyrinthine corridors of Kensington Palace. Not whispers of grief, but of anticipation, calculation, and a chilling uncertainty that gripped the very heart of the British monarchy. The Kensington system, a suffocating regime imposed by her ambitious mother, the Duchess of Kent, and her sinister controller, Sir John Conroy, isolated her completely. Every meal, every lesson, every walk in the garden was supervised, meticulously choreographed to render her utterly dependent. Books were vetted, friends were forbidden, and even her own mother was a pawn in Conroy's elaborate game. Victoria, barely 18, would lie awake, listening to the palace clock chime the hours, each tick echoing the rapid approach of her fate. Urgent footsteps pounded down the hall, followed by hushed, strained voices. Victoria, startled awake, heard the hushed whispers outside her door. She walked into the sitting room alone. Two solemn men stood before her, their faces grave. Lord Conyngham, the Lord Chamberlain, cleared his throat, his voice heavy with the weight of history. The question now was, could this accidental queen, thrust onto a throne forged in shadows and hushed whispers, truly break free from the chains of her past and forge her own formidable reign? The world held its breath. "Your Majesty," he began, "your poor uncle, the king, is no more." Her mother, uncharacteristically agitated, entered her room, her face pale in the dim light. "Victoria," she urged, "the Archbishop of Canterbury and Lord Conyngham are here. They demand to see you." She knew her uncles were dying, but the true implications of their imminent demise, the sheer weight of a crown resting on her young head, was a terrifying unknown. Would Conroy succeed in his machinations? Would she be strong enough to resist him? The shadows in her room seemed to writhe with unspoken threats, and with his last breath, the mantle of an empire had fallen, with an almost audible thud, onto the shoulders of an 18-year-old girl who had been raised in isolation, manipulated by schemers, and kept in the dark about her own destiny. He saw Victoria not as a future queen, but as a puppet, a vessel through which he would seize ultimate power. His grip was absolute, his influence a dark cloud over her every waking moment. For the heir presumptive, a sheltered, diminutive girl named Alexandrina Victoria, the truth of her impending destiny was a secret kept with an almost desperate zeal. Victoria loathed Conroy, his oily charm, his possessive gaze, the way he manipulated her mother. She felt it all, a silent, simmering rage. King George IV had died without legitimate issue. Now, his brother, King William IV, clung to life by a thread, his health failing rapidly. Each wheezing breath he could brought Victoria closer, a heartbeat away from the throne. She was barely prepared to ascend. She knew instinctively that she was a predator waiting. What she didn't fully grasp was the terrifying proximity of her assault. Victoria's childhood had been a gilded cage, designed not for her protection, but for her control. But beneath the timid facade, a spark of defiance flickered. He tried to force Victoria to sign documents appointing him her private secretary upon her ascension, a move that would grant him unchecked authority. Victoria, guided by an innate stubbornness and a fierce sense of dignity, refused. "I will sign nothing, Sir John," she declared, her voice trembling but firm, "until I am queen." It was a small act of rebellion, but one that hinted at the steel beneath the porcelain. The royal family was a crumbling edifice of ailing uncles and childless marriages. The tension within Kensington Palace became unbearable. Conroy, desperate to secure a regency before William's inevitable demise, pushed harder than ever. The nights were the worst. Then, in the pale dawn hours of June 20th, 1837, the silence of Kensington Palace shattered. A jolt of ice shot through Victoria. This was it. She rose, pulling on her dressing gown, her heart pounding a frantic rhythm against her ribs. The words hung in the air, heavy and final. William IV was dead. The suspense wasn't over. It had just begun.